Boy, am I having all sorts of fun. So I yanked off the head unit and the lower manifold slash heat exchanger. I just pulled this all off as one piece. There's just a couple bolts that hold the lower manifold and the heat exchanger together, so that was pretty easy. It's all billet aluminum, so it's super light. I'm going to pull out the injectors, label them, and I'm going to take them into my local speed shop and have them flow and clean them out, since I've been running ethanol through these for about 2 years now. Still need to do a little bit more cleaning. You can see the RTV on here that actually seals the head unit onto the manifold itself for one of the Gen 1 2650s from Boost District. A lot of the newer ones, though, they do have an actual ribbed O-ring that seats along here, so you don't have to deal with RTV, but I do understand why he did that, since this is a very, very early production unit from him. But even with having RTV on it, still have little to no issues. Actually, I haven't had any issues with sealing. But the front brakes are also completely finished on both sides now. Unfortunately, I bent my piston compressor tool, so I actually just had to use the old C-clamp and a thick piece of cardboard. I did have to pull the rotors back apart, or back off the car, and bevel a small edge that you'll see in this photo. You'll need that to clear that curved step that I was talking about. I figured the machining that was done on the rotor from the factory, plus the boring it out to fit the hub, I figured that would have taken it out, but I was wrong. So now we're getting ready to have all sorts of fun. Thankfully, I haven't seen this view in quite a long time, but unfortunately that was changed, as now I'm getting ready to dive into the harness and see what I can find. I have already found one possible culprit. It's buried back there. I'd have to dig it out, but my first instinct was to check ground, since obviously the car was just randomly losing all power to the ECM. So I did check the grounds. I'm going to pull those back off. I'm going to clean the eyelets and where they seat onto the heads on the back here, since the Holley is 1 and 2 that are pretty nicely labeled. I did find one broken random black wire that I'll need to actually go through the body diagram, the body harness diagram, and the ECM diagram for an 0506 GTO to see if it's related to the actual car side of the harness, or if it's related to the terminator. I have an inkling it's related to the terminator, but I did see, I mean, it looks like a fairly fresh break, like it happened within the past couple months, which, you know, likely it did. But aside from that, everything's been going smooth. Still waiting on the last of the belt drive kit, but I've been having so much fun with this. I'm actually getting ready to rewrap a bunch of this loom, consolidate a lot of this stuff, since, I mean, back here it's not that big of a deal. It still kind of bothers me, but I am going to try and tie down this harness as much as I possibly can. I will be using some of the bell housing bolts on the top to actually hold some of the wiring in over there, as long as it's got slack, so that way things don't move about. But yeah, we're one step closer to fixing this pile of fuck and getting things back on the road.